Oh yeah, that's how you know. That's how you know you're in the zone
Yeah.
when you hear the voice.
Pam. She's sweet noise to my ears.
Oh yeah, yeah. You probably haven't heard that in ages.
I was just looking at my podcast book, and I haven't recorded a cast since August of last year.
Wow.
Yeah. But on the upside, there's been you, Richard. Who's the other one? Someone else all emailed me, asked me to get on with them, and then Cliff had made a comment that we should do something too to kind of keep the fires burning. So I think we're gonna have a kind of a glut of podcasts out of the blue to talk about verses. So hopefully it's gonna help.
Yeah. I basically try to keep in touch with everybody. Be like, hey, when you got some free time, come on, and we'll do some stuff.
Boy, I tell you what, free time is one of those things that I just have none of lately. I'm almost, and I'm gonna kick myself for saying this, almost glad that I don't have verses keeping me busy, because it's just work and family and life has just been kicking me square in the jimmy lately, and I literally have zero time to do anything of value.
I'm in the same way. I've been getting my video game ready for PAX, and that's been consuming the bulk of my time.
Cool.
And it's kind of frustrating because it's sometimes, you think everything's all right, then your little character walks on water. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Not Jesus, get back on that land.
Yeah.
I got to go back in there and figure out what I did wrong.
Sure.
But let's get right down to business here. Hello,
okay.
everyone, and welcome to a rather laid-back edition of El Supercast. With me today is Homer J. You may know him from the Ring Has Chosen, one of the best damn versus podcasts I have ever heard.
Wow, thanks. Hey, everybody. Yeah, it's been a while. Like we were just saying, it's been many months since we've done anything recording-wise. It's left a hole in me.
So, how do you feel about this? The comeback with versus.
I am pessimistically optimistic. I think it is awesome that Upper Deck is, showing interest in both the versus license and a game.
Mm-hmm.
I think I am very excited to hear some of the rumors about, persons or persons at Upper Deck really interested in what the versus community still has to say about the game. The potential of versus being relaunched based on interest. There's a lot of hope. Hopefully not blind hope that something good can come out of this. I still am feeling a little bit burned by Upper Deck still, and even though the powers that be have changed dramatically, the vision that they have, the mentality, all those things that they supposedly have made changes about, until I actually see that, I'm still not going to really buy in with Upper Deck. What I am buying in on is how rabid our community truly is. It took all of 2 days for the 30 or so odd regular forum members at versussystem.org to turn into 300 plus. Is that what you said you just saw as the count?
Yeah, 386.
386 likes on that website. I am ecstatic to think that there are 400 players out there who still, hold true to the to the what we had hoped for from Versus. So, that if you take nothing else from this situation, let's say, and again I don't want to gooch it, but let's say Upper Deck says, that was a good exercise. We're still going to move forward with Superstars or whatever it is they're doing.
Yeah,
I think knowing so many people still care, still play, so many people are still out there, I think that's just awesome.
I've been doing a lot of thinking about this, and I'm wondering if the people who are running UDE, if they're going to learn from their previous mistakes, because I don't want a repeat of the end of Versus all over again.
Right. I think that, again, I don't want to read too much in between the lines, but the posts and the interviews and things that we've seen real recently and the information that we've learned about Upper Deck and what's kind of happened to their business, it seems to me that they would not be able to earn the Marvel license unless they had a significant business plan in place.
Yeah.
And so I feel strongly that they have kind of seen the error of their ways. They're going to attack a new game or a relaunch of our game the right way. Build it from the ground up. Don't, burn your capital days into this game even being released. There was a lot of lessons learned, and I think the community has done a lot of the work for them to launch or relaunch Versus. I mean, look at the console and what they've done in the last 2 years as far as set design, balancing events, keeping interest, rules, errata, everything that those people like Miguel and Card Crazy and Kevin and Scott and people worked their asses off for nothing more than the joy of the game. And so if Upper Deck just said, let's just start again, they've already got some of the greatest advertising around in a player base already.
Oh, yeah. My main thing is this right here. If Versus gets relaunched and everything goes peachy keen, you have new sets and all the questions and issues were taken care of, my main focus is that all the people that have supported Versus from around the United Kingdom and other areas, let them have their support. Because that I feel that there's a bigger audience over there than there is over here.
Well, I think other games have shown, games like Magic and WoW have shown that international play is very viable. I think that the biggest challenge every company has is having to print things in other languages is always a challenge, because you're basically making a set of cards that is somewhat obsolete to a percentage of your player base. But on the other hand, if you keep it all in English because you're a U.S.-based company, you're also alienating potential players.
Yep.
The international group is a really tough group to keep included because, like you said, they're a valid and have a voracious appetite for the game. But how do you keep them included? And of course, the UK isn't an issue, but the South American countries that I know are part of our community, the Eastern Europe groups. There's people out there. The Italians, Italy has a huge play group. I don't know if they do everything in English or if there's Italian cards, but man, it would be really in everyone's best interest, I think, in any game, especially, again, like you said, the Versus relaunch, to make sure that you hit everywhere you can.
You get everybody.
Yeah, and if English cards can do that, or maybe even get 50% of the way outside of our border, you should do that.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's like some of the people don't realize that over there, after a certain amount of releases, they had nothing.
Right.
They were basically going up on eBay or other means to get all the latest stuff, because their support was literally nada, zero, zip, zilch. And that just makes me feel sick to my stomach. It's not right.
Right. I mean, and a lot of it had to do with what did Europe shut down, or did they just not have access? I don't remember anymore.
Honestly, I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember how that fell through.
When everything went down.
I think that I mean, regardless of the audience, I mean, there were lessons learned the first time through that maybe they can, go back and fill in the gaps. Europe and South America specifically, I think, really had a lot of players. So, if they address that correctly, even if they don't have a European office to start, but just make it available through distribution, events. I think the community has shown, and the player groups, again, Europe is a great example. Player groups can run events without a UDE hand involved.
Mm-hmm.
Pricing and stuff is always a challenge, but if you set expectations that it's card pricing or bennies like mats and things like that. You don't need to have a full office out there, and you can turn the savings of having to run an office into profitable marketing by doing open events. So
I would love to go to one of those mega weekend things, because those things are fun.
yeah, I agree.
That would, if anything, I don't know what's going to happen with this. Either Versus will come back or it'll not come back at all.
Right.
Either way, it would be nice to get a whole bunch of people who still play together to one of these mega events and, just do it one more time, just for fun.
Yeah, well, and the community is pushing really hard for several, I'll call them pseudo-mega events, because, it's only as good as the people that show up versus the pricing-based events that UDE had. But, people have been very successful with their own little mega weekends, Texas, Battle on the Big Apple, stuff like that. And those were all self-promoted and self-prized, and there weren't really new cards being released, but people still showed up and wanted to play.
Yeah, it's that is amazing right there. That the fan base is like, we still love it. We're still here.
Right. Yeah, I think even just jumping on the forums, I'm not sure how often you're out there. I don't see you very often, so I'm not sure.
I don't know. I tried logging in, but for whatever reason, it's just won't let me. Need to work that out.
All right. Well, there's probably, I'm gonna ballpark it here. I'm gonna say there's probably 25 to 30 regular posters, and then there might be another 20 or 25 that are infrequent or new users. But I think that new number is what gets me most excited. It's awesome to see someone show up and say, hey, I just bought a bunch of Marvel Legends, never played. Can you explain to me how backup works? That's something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, people are still craving a superhero game. Right?
You know what my thing would be? I would love to be a part of the development team for Blackest Night. I would be all over that. I would basically dig up all the issues like, all right, we're doing this.
Well, obviously you haven't been on for a while, because the DLL fan site that was released, DC Lantern's Light, was amazing, is amazing. And it has a huge Black Lantern team, and then all the other teams covered. Great mechanics, great flavor. And I'm not sure how aware you are, but they went to the extent of you were able to buy quality printed versions. Like, they're basically cards. They don't have backs, but they're thick quality, laminated. They shuffle almost like a real card.
All right, hold that.
And you could buy full sets of these things through the designers. They basically said, whatever you want, we'll have it printed. You pay the cost. Not an income thing. It was amazing.
Yeah, I haven't been able to log in, so I'm unaware of all the latest updates. I think it's fantastic that a bunch of guys got together and said, hey, quality print cards based on Blackest Night and all the other cool stuff that's been going around. That's awesome.
Well, the fan sets have been pretty solid. DLL was amazing. I would say it was really the moment that the community really said, we can do, and I shouldn't even say we, because Card Crazy and Ban Jabo Style, I wish I could remember their real names, because it's not fair for me to call them by their onlines. They did 90% of the work, I believe, and they had a pretty good playtest team. But that set, once they were ready to release, they had a bunch of online tournaments, both a kind of a pre-release thing. They did alter egos. We did a lot of testing. There was a lot of really good discussion about, playability, errors, textual changes to break things down. The council has approved 2 other sets, Marvel Factions and Marvel Warzone,